Well, hello everyone. We're going to continue our discussion on flowers today, and I want to do some quick review of the pieces of the flower. Remember, this is something you're really going to need to know for the quiz, so pay attention here. So, the basic parts of a flower. The outermost whorl, the first circle of flower parts, are the sepals. They are frequently green, sometimes the same color as flower petals. They protect the flower bud when it's closed up. Some flowers don't even have them. Second ring or whorl of pieces are the petals. They are usually brightly colored. They are used to attract insects or small mammals to the flower for pollination purposes. The third whorl is the stamen. The stamen is made of two pieces. Here the stalk is called the filament, and then the top piece is called the anther. Together they're called the stamen, and these are the male parts of the flower, and the stamen, the anther part of the stamen is what makes pollen grains that have sperm that will do pollination. And the last whorl, toward the center of the flower usually, is the pistil. It's the female part of the flower. It has three pieces. At the base is the ovary that contains the ovules that will, when fertilized, will become the seeds, which is the whole purpose of the flower, is to make seeds. The second part is a stalk, tall, slender stalk called a style. And at the top of that is a little piece, a large piece called the stigma that's sticky, so that floating pollen grains can stick to that, and the sperm can then travel down the style into the ovary to fertilize the ovules, the eggs, to make the seed. And the center piece is the pistil. All those three pieces together, that is the female part of the flower. So with that basic anatomy of the flower, let's talk about a couple of topics today: complete and incomplete flowers, and perfect and imperfect flowers. So here's the definition of a complete flower. It has all four of the parts we just talked about. It has sepals, it has petals, it has stamens, it has pistils. Those are called complete flowers. If you're missing at least one of those four, or even more than one of the four, you're called an incomplete flower. So here is a complete flower. We have sepals, we have flower petals, we have stamens, we have a pistil. That's a complete flower. Now look at this daylily over here on the other hand. This is an incomplete flower. It has stamens, here they are. It has a pistil, that's this white piece. It has flower petals, the orange, but it does not have sepals, so it is called incomplete. Once again, a flower is incomplete if it's missing at least one of the four pieces. Now, let's compare that to a second definition: perfect versus imperfect flowers. A perfect flower is a flower that has the two sex parts: the female part, the pistil, and the male part, the stamens. That's a perfect flower. An imperfect flower is missing one of the two. All right, it's missing one of the two. So here are two imperfect flowers. This is a staminate flower, it's got the male piece, and this is a pistillate flower, it's got the female piece. Oh, excuse me, I said that backwards. This is the pistillate flower, this is the female, this is the pistil, and this is the staminate flower, the male flower. Here is a stamen with pollen at the top of that. Now, here's a statement: complete flowers are always perfect. Remember that complete flowers have all four parts. So if you have all four parts, by definition, you have a stamen and a pistil. So that makes a complete flower perfect. All right? Now, if you're imperfect, though, you're also incomplete, because complete flowers have all four pieces. And if you're imperfect, you're missing either a stamen or a pistil, and that makes you imperfect. So you can have complete perfect flowers, you can have incomplete imperfect flowers, but you would never have an imperfect complete flower. Just never could happen by very definition. So, a couple of different terms here I want to introduce you to about imperfect flowers. Monoecious versus dioecious plants. Dioecious versus monoecious. Weird names. Dioecious means two houses in Latin. So a dioecious plant species has a male plant and a female plant. The male plant has staminate flowers, has imperfect flowers with just the male stamens in them. And well, they could also have petals and sepals, but they don't have pistils. The female plant has just epistolate flowers. So you have, just like in humans, there are males and females, you also have in plants a male plant, a female plant. And here's some examples. This is a holly bush. This is a female plant because it's got the red berries. Those are the seeds. And the seeds only happen on the female plant. So somewhere close by there would have to be a male plant that just has the male flowers that would carry the pollen to the female plant to form these berries. Same thing here. This is a mulberry tree. It's a female. An Osage orange. It's female. Almond tree. Female. Ginkgo tree with their really, really smelly fruit. Female. And Taxus yew bushes, which this is also a female. So these are examples of monoecious plants. Hollies, yews, mulberries, ginkgos, Osage orange. That's pistachio. I'm sorry, not almonds. Pistachio and mistletoe I don't even have on here. And this Osage orange tree, or sometimes called milk balls. We used to, throw those at each other. They were hurt when we were little boys. All right, now compare this to a monoecious plant. A monoecious plant has both male and female on the same plant. So here's an example of a monoecious corn. Up here, these are the imperfect male flowers. The staminate flowers are up here on the tassels, we call them. And then down here on the silks of the ear of the corn, these are all the imperfect female flowers. The pollen has to come from here, down here, or more frequently it blows to another plant because these are wind pollinated. And each one of these kernels of corn are seeds that have to be fertilized individually from the silks. We'll talk more about this. But this is an example of a monoecious plant that has both male and female flowers on the same plant. Here's squash, has the same thing. Here's staminate flowers on, this is an ash, looks like. Yeah, an ash. There are staminate flowers and there are pistillate flowers, two different kinds of flowers. And then there are plenty of monoecious plants that have what are called those perfect flowers. They have male and female all in one flower. See here, they're separate flowers on the same plant. Way, way more, guys, monoecious plants than dioecious. So I've introduced you to a few new terms today. Complete versus incomplete. All four parts of the flower is complete, missing at least one's incomplete. Perfect versus imperfect. Perfect has male and female stamen and pistils. Imperfect's missing one of the two. Dioecious plants that have male plants and female plants with male flowers and female flowers on separate plants, and monoecious plants that have both male and female on the same plant. We'll talk more the next time we get together.